contest. So do you want to guess again? I'm just
George.
George, is that your answer? You might be right. I'm going to have to look back in the annals of 92 Zeus 330 Theme Park. But it's great having you guys here and a chance to catch you on the big stage. It has been kind of a whirlwind for a while. First of all, just trying to keep up with what people call your music is like trying to keep up with P. Diddy's names. What officially are you guys now? I mean, you get referred to as country, booty shaking country. I think y'all refer to yourself as booty shaking country.
Yeah, we're a country band.
All right. First and foremost.
That's what we say.
Didn't I hear somewhere where originally you guys had said it's gonna be straight up folk, like when you first met in school and everything, and I guess you met through mutual friends apparently?
Yeah, we all met in college, and when we met at the time, Nate and I had just started playing banjo and mandolin, and we were all acoustic, I guess, with acoustic guitar with Judah, and I think we kind of like, folk was very popular at the time, and we kind of felt like we maybe had to kind of go that route and do the suspenders, top hat kind of vibe.
Oh, yeah.
Which was awesome, and since then we've evolved into what I think is more truly ourselves and who we are as individuals and as a unit.
Right on, yeah, and I right about that time when you guys were getting together and stuff, I know what you mean. You had really the Lumineers kind of popping, Mumford and Sons, stuff like that. That was really all the rage, and of course that was maybe the simpler more ones. But if you dug a little deeper, there was a lot of that upturn in the popularity of that folk music. When would you say was that pivotal point? Was it right there at like folk hop and roll, or when you were getting ready to make that? When was it that you were like, hey, I don't think we're going to stick to our original initiative here?
I think when we did Kids These Days, I think we recorded that back in 2014. It wasn't so much like we're going to get away from the folk side of things. It was just that we were going to allow ourselves to add electric guitar and add synthesizers and things like that. And I remember like having such a hard time kind of letting go of, or I guess being open to changing. But now it's just become a constant process of trying things. But that really opened up the door and showed like, we don't have to just stick to this. And we all grew up on different things and have all these ideas, and let's actually kind of try them out rather than feel like we have to be stuck in this box. Let's allow each other to really breathe and at least see how it goes. And I think that's just, we've continued to have that mindset and tried to, especially on this record that just came out, kind of committed to whatever the song needs, we'll just follow that path as opposed to trying to fit it all in one style. Or, I mean, we would never do just one style, but even what Judah and Lion you might expect, we just kind of threw that to the side and said, we're going to be ourselves and try things, and whatever the song needs, we'll go with that.
I enjoy the evolution of it. If you see it from a third person over time, no matter what they call you, I'm sure you had a self-realization of the band, but it's all sort of culminated into, what is that? And so that's great that you have a thing that makes you unique and people hear you that really steps aside of the genre part of it and what people call you. Had some big stuff going on recently. Casey Musgraves ended up joining you on Pictures. How did that whole relationship come about?
Yeah, we were super excited that she was on this record. We, in our own way, have kind of been obsessed with her music and what she's done and kind of how she's made her own way and own genre, and nobody really knows how to categorize like what kind of music she makes, and that's always been so inspiring for us in Nashville. And I mean, essentially, we had this song, kind of demoed out in the studio, and we were like, man, this needs Casey on it, but there's no way it's gonna happen. That was a kind of a lofty dream. But we sent the song to her team, got it in Casey's hands, and she ended up really loving the story and loving the song and kind of resonated with it in her own way. And then she came back from Asia, came in the studio in Nashville, and cut the vocals. I think it only took her like 1 or 2 takes, and then it was done.
Very cool. Well, in addition to the story behind getting the song made, like you said, she loved the story, and I'm sure she loved the story because it's a great story. But that's the thing is, there's a lot of artists out there that you may think you know them, and then you meet them. And then there's artists that if you really, truly sit and listen to their music, you at least know a little bit about them. And I feel that with you guys, but Pictures is definitely delves into that area and is a real picture, so to speak, of that time in your life, huh?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the record is kind of was culminated out of a painful story of my family dramas back home, and my parents going through a pretty hard divorce, and way I was kind of dealing with that on the road, and just a lot of the story I think kind of focused on my I guess, problems or my anxieties or my kind of emotions within that story. But there was a moment when I talked to my mom when she was packing up. I don't know if we were on the road or if, we were home, but she was packing up our childhood home, and it was like right after the divorce, and she just like lost it on me. And I think it was like one of the moments for me, at least. I think forgiveness started to kind of set in for my parents, and I was able to kind of see things from my parents' perspective for the first time and get out of my own kind of selfish anger or like pain that I kind of had in regards to both of them. So the song was kind of written from their perspective, which it really kind of helped me even like writing these songs to kind of like think, oh my gosh, this is really painful for them.
Do you ever, in retrospect, kind of look at it and see, in a way, how you're fortunate to, when you are having to juggle a personal life and personal tragedy and your job or your livelihood at the same time, it's a fortunate turn, I guess, in time that your job is purging, basically, that you've made it your job to kind of purge what you're thinking and what you're feeling through your music and share it with other people and see how it comes back to you. Did you find that was kind of your biggest therapy during that time?
Yeah, I mean, songwriting is such a healing thing for me. Nobody would really know this because some people might know me as like this very emotional, kind of all-bearing. But I think I wasn't really like that until I found songwriting. I think songwriting almost allowed me to kind of put to words what was going on in my head a little bit, and you put music to it, which makes it easier for people to digest. But it opens up for us to even have conversations like, what are you saying here? Like, what are you talking about? When did this happen, or whatever? So it's so healing, and honestly, we encourage everyone and everybody that we can have a voice and just like find some kind of creative outlet for you to kind of get feelings out on the table, whether it be I'm not really great at drawing, but I love drawing because it kind of helps me get something out. It feels healing to me, and obviously songwriting for me is that way. But even if you don't feel like you're adequate, or even if the song's not for anybody else, it's just for you, or a poem or whatever, I think it's like a really, really therapeutic, beautiful thing for our mental health.
Yeah, and whether or not, it's for other people, the fact is, before you didn't say singing is therapeutic for me. You said songwriting. And there's the old adage that sometimes just saying it out loud, even if somebody doesn't hear it, gets you to at least start focusing or functioning with it. But then you do have that other dynamic. And then you do have to get out there and all this stuff that you finally gotten at least out of your middle and on a piece of paper, you've now got to share it with somebody else. Have you ever found that that has not benefited you, that you didn't get the reception from it, or it took some of that from you once you'd shared it with people, maybe in the reception in it?
Honestly, for me, the reception has always been we good? Oh, sorry. The reception has always been like reciprocated back. It's almost like you become like a reflection of humanity in that way, because honesty or whatever can also breed honesty. And so I feel like the reception's only been positive in my I guess experience.
Well, now you're getting ready to take it to a pretty wide audience, huh? Did I see in July you guys are going to be in the UK then?
UK, yep.
All right. Well, getting out there and about. And Pep Talks just kicked off at May 3rd. Did you drop it?
Yeah,
So you got a new
2
album
weeks.
out. And
Yep.
Come down to see us at the beach. Super excited. And so you guys all originally are from Nashville? You didn't just meet I know you all met together at school or met through friends there. Are you all originally from the Nashville area?
So I grew up in Chicago. Nate's from Colorado Springs. Judah's from just outside of Nashville. And we all ended up at the same college there. And that's where we all live now.
Right
So.
on. All right, well, we are sitting here and talking with Judah and the Lion. Judah, Nate, Brian, we really appreciate you swinging by, and definitely looking forward to seeing what's next from you guys for sure.
Thanks so much. I'll
Yeah,
be
thank
sure
you.
to call again and give my answer.
All right, we're doing new contests in the 2 o'clock hour.
All right.
Perfect.
All right.
Love it.
Cool.
Sweet.
Thank you guys. Thanks, dude.
Hell yeah.